All right. It's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for another episode of Edible RX, the podcast that teaches autoimmune warriors to use anti-inflammatory food as medicine. But quickly, before we get into the episode, if you're new here, hi there. I'm Laura Rodriguez, holistic chef, autoimmune warrior, and creator of the Flare Free Academy. In 2015, I started using anti-inflammatory food as medicine to manage the symptoms of my rheumatoid arthritis, and I saw great success. And healing from within doesn't stop with food, guys. It goes way beyond that, and we get into all of it right here on the podcast, with interviews from functional medical professionals and fellow autoimmune warriors, and so much more. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. In today's podcast episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the raw and unedited live delivery of my Flare Free Meal Prep Masterclass. We just finished the class and I am going to share it with you for a limited time so that you can learn the quickest, easiest, most stress-free way to stock your fridge with 20 anti-inflammatory healing meals to eat throughout the week so you can use food as medicine consistently enough to get off the roller coaster ride of food-driven autoimmune flare-ups. This is a juicy episode, so if you need to grab a piece of paper and pen, your favorite beverage, sit down, take notes. We are going to get into it. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome to the Flare Free Meal Prep Masterclass. This is where you're going to learn the quickest and easiest way to prep 20 meals in 3 hours or less so you can use anti-inflammatory food as medicine consistently enough to get off the roller coaster ride of food-driven autoimmune flare-ups. Everybody can see my screen? Okay, good. All right, so to get the most out of this experience, if you don't mind, for the next hour, if you can minimize distractions, put your phone on silent, do whatever you can so that you can just tune into what we're doing, take notes and pay attention and get everything that you can out of being here. And then of course, utilize the chat. So I'm going to be prompting you guys. Hi, Amy. I'm going to be prompting you guys to comment in the chat below, and that's how you will enter our giveaway today. We'll get to that in a second, but I just wanted to say that this class is for you if you're too busy to cook every day, but you want to use food as medicine consistently enough to heal from within. You believe food is medicine, but you don't have the tools, guidance, support, and resources to eat flare-free. This masterclass is for you if you struggle to stay consistent on your healing journey because life gets busy and the best solution you've had so far is to just eat out. And lastly, this masterclass is for you if just the sheer thought of meal prepping overwhelms you into inaction and makes you go into freeze mode and you're like, I can't do it. We're going to break it all down for you so you feel like you can. Now, this masterclass is not for you if you don't believe changing what you eat can have any effect on the way that you feel. If you're stubborn and stuck in your ways and you consider yourself a really picky eater and you're not willing to try new foods. This masterclass is also not for you if you can't imagine eating something more than once a week. And if you don't want free education on the simple, actionable steps that you can actually start taking today or maybe tomorrow, because it's already late for most of us. And welcome to everybody that's joining us from overseas. I know we had a lot of folks from England and from Australia and New Zealand that signed up for the course. So I don't know what time it is there for you, but I hope it's a decent time. Hi, Linda. Hi, PJ. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Anna. All right, Anna. And lastly, this masterclass is not for you if you don't want to learn about how I can help you along your meal prep journey beyond this free masterclass. So if you're still here, thank you so much for being here, and make sure to stay to the end where I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you to download those 5 free recipes that are some of my students' favorite recipes from inside my meal prep course. So I don't share these recipes anywhere else, guys. All right, so if you want to win 50% off coupon for instant lifetime access into my self-paced meal prep course, you want to find the chat right now because I'm going to give you some prompts along the way and ask you some questions that you're going to answer in the chat. And that's all you got to do to enter the giveaway. And then I'm going to, after I get everybody's names, I'll do the drawing and I'll do that live. Usually do it on Instagram. Okay, so really quickly, for anybody that's new here, I just want to share a little bit about my story. It's very brief, but you can learn more about me all on my website and on Instagram and so much more. Of course, you can always message me if you have specific questions, but basically, I started using food as medicine in 2015. I started because I was suffering with really debilitating joint pain, and I saw results in 3 months, and I was actually able to even reverse my eczema and my migraines as well. Now, my healing journey was a very long and non-linear one, and I ended up getting diagnosis after diagnosis and reversing many different diagnoses. But that's kind of how it started and why I do what I do now. So now I actually meal prep for autoimmune warriors in their homes every week. But I know that not everybody can afford a personal chef. And so I love to teach people all around the world how to do this for themselves at home, because I believe that food is medicine and this information should not be hidden. And it just brings me a lot of joy to see other people heal from within. So before we get started into the meat and potatoes of this training, I wanted to share a couple quick testimonies from some of my students. And this is what they had to say after just 1 week of meal prepping inside my course. Someone said, "I'm amazed at how quickly these recipes came together. I've tried meal prepping before, but I think my pre-work was not planned well. The types of recipes and the structure of the plan is really impressive. I'm inspired to keep going and eventually customize my own weekly meal plans." I just did an Instagram live with her last week, and that's posted on my Instagram page. And she told me about some of the meals that she's now starting to incorporate her own meals, and it is just amazing. I love hearing that feedback from her after just 1 week. Another student said, "It's great to have meals in the refrigerator done and waiting for me. Meal prep has changed my attitude about meal preparation and cooking. I love sheet tray broiler cooking." This client in particular was really hesitant to take the course because she's not a big cook. She finds cooking and being in the kitchen very stressful. So that was great. Okay, so today you're going to be learning the secret to planning a quick and easy meal prep session. When I say quick and easy, I mean 2 to 3 hours. You're going to learn essential time-saving tasks that you must do every time you meal prep if you want to cook in 3 hours or less. And of course, my broiler sheet tray method, which is the quickest, easiest, most effective way to cook on meal prep day. Okay, so number one, if you're multitasking, you want to take notes, you might want to, get your pen and paper handy because we're getting into it now. So number one, there's 3 secrets to planning a quick and easy meal prep session. You want to choose between 3 to 5 recipes. You want to do as little as you humanly possibly can. And you want to stay as organized as humanly possible the entire time. Okay, let's break it down. Secret number 1, choose 3 to 5 recipes. The number of recipes that you choose for your weekly meal plan will depend on how proficient are you in the kitchen, right? Are you learning these recipes or are you following these recipes? And then, of course, the difficulty and the length of each recipe. Okay, so if you're a beginner cook, right? Like maybe you don't cook very much at all. Or maybe your husband is the cook in the family, but you would like to try to cook, right? I suggest you choose 3 recipes max. So you could do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you could do breakfast, dinner, and dessert. I recommend doing a dessert if you have a sweet tooth. If you have like a mean sweet tooth, you always want to prep a dessert, because having a flare-free dessert in the fridge to eat whenever you need to, right? Whenever a sweet tooth pops up is absolutely life-changing, because not only are you going to be nourishing yourself while satisfying your sweet tooth, but you're not going to have that guilt and shame that a lot of folks have when they're reaching for a packaged snack or a sweet. Now, if you're a more advanced cook, like I see Anna here, I see Linda here, they've been cooking for a long time, okay? Linda's been in my classes for a couple years. I know Anna's a pro in the kitchen. We've cooked together before. So if you're a more advanced cook, you can choose between 3 and 5 recipes. So that could be breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. Or it could be breakfast, lunch, 2 dinners, and dessert. That's what I usually do, because I want to just bang it all out and get it done with and not cook for several days, okay? And by the way, when I say that, inside my meal prep course, I teach you how to make breakfast, lunch, 2 dinners, and dessert in 2 hours or less. That's normally what it takes, on average, 2 hours. I think I have one class that's 2 hours and 35 minutes, and that's the longest. So then when you add the prep work in the beginning, which we're going to talk about soon, it usually ends up being 3 hours on average, okay? That's to make 20 meals. So don't be overwhelmed when you go, "I am an advanced cook. I rock it in the kitchen." However, 5 meals sounds like a lot. It's really not that bad, and I'm going to tell you why. So you want to make sure that you're like, okay, is this a brand new recipe I've never tried before? Because if you're reading a brand new recipe you've never cooked, there's going to be a lot of stopping to read the recipe and reread the recipe, and that's going to slow you down. So if you're learning a new recipe, just stick to 3 recipes, okay? And then as you go, you're like, oh, okay, well, that was actually a lot easier than I thought, then you can maybe add some more. But if you're following a familiar recipe that you've cooked before, or maybe it's even from a cookbook author that you know and love, and you know how to read their recipes really well, you can maybe bump it up to 5 recipes. That will depend on how good you are in the kitchen. So if you're a beginner, even if you're following a familiar recipe, I would stick to 3 at first, and you can always add more. Okay. So as I had just said, there's a way to make 20 meals in 2 hours, and it's totally possible. I do it every week inside my meal prep course. And this is the most important part of this secret number 1. So if you're not taking notes, you want to pay attention now. You have to choose quick and easy to execute recipes. They got to be short. Okay, we're not doing long, labor-intensive recipes that take hours to cook. So if you choose short and easy recipes, you can choose up to 5 different recipes to do, and you can get it done in 2 hours. It happens every week. Okay. If you choose the longer, more difficult recipes, then you got to keep to the 3 recipes. So that's what I'm saying. If you have a big family, you want to make more meals because you want to get those meals in the fridge to last you more than just a few days, you're going to want to do more recipes. Okay. So the shorter, the easier the recipe, the more meals you can make. Okay. Now, secret number 2, you want to do as little as humanly possible. Okay. So you want to select recipes that don't require very much of you, right? So the less prep work that you're required to do, the quicker you can cook. So I'm talking about using a bag of pre-chopped broccoli. I'm talking about using diced onions, right? You want to take as much help from the grocery store as you possibly can. And to do that, you want to use recipes that don't require much from you. So you're not going to find a recipe that's like, oh, we're going to be making artichokes from scratch. And you got to like peel all the artichokes and clean the artichokes and soak them in lemon juice and then cook them for an hour. Okay, that is not a meal prep recipe. Okay. So don't select recipes that require a ton of ingredients, a ton of chopping, tons of different types of equipment, more than 10 steps in the instructions, and intricate hands-on cooking techniques. So we're not going to be standing there making a pot of risotto, right, for 30 minutes. We're not going to be Frenching lamb chops, okay? I'm talking about you have to find the quickest, easiest, most simple recipes you possibly can. All right, now secret number 3 is to stay organized, because the more organized you are, the more efficient you can cook. Anna knows this. She used to cook in my kitchen, and so she knows, and Linda too. We'd be cracking the whip over there to keep everything nice and clean and organized so we do not have to slow down. And organization starts in the planning phase. We're going to get into organization a little bit more, so we're going to go over all of it, but what I want to say right now is that when you're planning your quick and easy meal prep session, right, for secret number 3, you actually want to organize your recipes in the order that you're going to cook them for that weekly meal prep session. So if I've got 5 recipes, I'm going to physically put them in order of how I'm going to cook them, so that when I go to the kitchen, I'm doing the longest, hardest one to cook first, and I'm doing the quickest, easiest to cook last. So say, for example, you're making a pot roast in the crock pot and you're making a Caesar salad. You're going to put your crock pot dish first in your packet, right? Your paper is going to be on top, and that's the recipe you're going to cook first. And then the last recipe is going to be your salad recipe, because that's cold and it's easy and it's quick, and you're going to do that one last. So from the minute before you ever cook, we're getting organized. I promise you that will save you time. All right, so I want you guys to comment below in the comments your big aha moment. What was something that you learned just now where the light bulb went off? I was like, I never thought of doing that. Go ahead and comment below, and that's how you can enter to win 50% off my meal prep solution course. It's a 6-week self-paced meal prep course that will teach you everything you need to know, but in a step-by-step manner. You literally follow me along with these videos that I made for you. The fact that flare-free desserts even exist. Yes, Laura, yes. We do one every single week. Hardest or longest meals first? Yes. Oh, it's a big one. Hi, Cassandra. I never really thought longest to quickest for prep and plan. Yes. Aren't you guys glad you're here? You're here with a pro that does this for a living. Heard first time about flare-free dessert. Yes. Prepare the hardest meal first. I like desserts included. Yes. Use chopped onions from the supermarket. So many good ones. Keep them coming, y'all. I love it. Okay. So the second thing I'm going to teach you today are the essential time-saving tasks that you need to do if you want to meal prep in 3 hours or less, okay? So number one, you have to order your groceries online. Number two, you have to organize your kitchen. And number three, you have to mise en place. Now, a bit of warning here, don't skip these steps if you really want to meal prep as quickly and efficiently as possible. If you are poo-pooing already my telling you that you have to order your groceries online, keep watching because I'm going to explain why it matters, okay? Now, the first two steps that I mentioned, the ordering your groceries online and organizing your kitchen, those need to be done before you ever start meal prepping, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Now, if you're poo-pooing the whole grocery order thing, let me tell you, there are several different grocery delivery apps that you can try. Whichever one is available and works best for you and your budget and all of that will depend on you, right? Where do you live? What's available for you? Which of these apps do you like? Which one has all the ingredients that you need? I use Instacart for all of my clients. And Imperfect Foods is what I use for my family. So Imperfect Foods also merged with Misfits Market. You might see it either way online, but they sell pastured meats, they sell grass-fed meat, they sell a lot of good quality vegan dairy products, a lot of good quality snacks. So many flare-free ingredients you can get, and it comes delivered to your house. Now, the only thing about that is you have to plan like days in advance. So I have to place my order like a week in advance, but it comes in a box on ice. You don't have to be there to receive it. It's amazing. I love it. I use it every single week. But there's Butcher Box, there's Thrive Market, Postmates, DoorDash, Shipped, there's Amazon Fresh, there's Whole Foods. There's so many options. And so you have to figure out which one works best for you. Danielle said, I've been trying to get my husband on the meal delivery train, but after so many bad experience with the bad produce and incorrect items, he doesn't want to do it anymore. I totally understand. I'm not sure what app you used, but to me, it evens out, right? And Instacart, you can do as many returns as you need to. They never ask you questions. If you get a bruised tomato, if you get lettuce that's wilted, if you get rotten whatever, you just tell them it was wrong and they give you an instant credit to your account, and that's it. They never ask you for anything. So Marianne said we live in the country and there's no delivery here. Well, that's okay. Special, sorry. You're gonna have to go to the grocery store or do a Kroger pickup order. But let's just keep going, okay? Just listen to what I'm about to tell you because it's important. If you are resistant to letting someone else pick out your groceries, just know these 5 things. Number one, it's easier. The app auto-populates your favorite foods based on what you've shopped for in the past. So a lot of times when you open the app, you don't even have to type in the ingredient. It's just there and you click it. You can duplicate orders. So say, for example, you create for yourself a 6-week meal plan. And you get to week 6 and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back to week 1 and just repeat. You literally can go in the app, find that menu that you chose, whatever date it was, go by the date is what I usually do. You can see the ingredients too. So you're like, okay, what was the date I did the pot roast? Look for the grass-fed pot beef or whatever, and then literally hit reorder. And you now have your groceries coming to you like literally with the push of 2 buttons. And you don't have to leave the house, guys, okay? It saves so much time and energy. It takes me about 15 minutes on average to order groceries, and that's for a big order. So that eliminates the whole like spending hours at the grocery store and coming home too tired to cook and then eating a frozen pizza or ordering out after you just spent $200 on groceries. Now you can reserve this time and energy that you would have spent running all around getting groceries and lugging them into the car and lugging them into the house and unloading everything to meal prep. Okay, we want to save our energy and our time for meal prepping because meal prepping is not easy. I teach you the quickest, easiest way to do it, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. We're standing there, we're cooking for 2 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to exert ourselves on grocery shopping because we're afraid to get some wilted lettuce. No, we're not doing that anymore. And you can shop multiple stores easily. So I usually recommend going in and searching for whatever specialty ingredients that you need to find first, shop those, and then go wherever else. So if you're like, I know Publix is the only place that carries the vegan feta, I'm going to get it there, but I'm going to go to Aldi for everything else because I don't want to spend Publix prices. Then you just buy what you need at Publix, and then you literally go to Aldi for everything else. And you can save money because you can price compare within the app. So you can go to Aldi and see how much is the grass-fed ground beef there and go to Kroger. Okay, a lot of places, depending on where you live, like when I cook for my clients in California, they have so many stores near them. I can even order from Walmart on their Instacart app. But Walmart does have its own grocery order app. And one of the students in last night's masterclass told us all about how much she loves Walmart and she swears by it. She says that they pick out the best groceries there. And so yeah, you can go, let me pull up Walmart and see how much the grass-fed beef is there. Let me pull up Aldi and you can price compare. Not to mention, guys, you're not spending money on gas and mileage and wear and tear on your car. So if you live in the country like I do, I'm literally 30 minutes to get to a Kroger. Okay, so I've now spent an hour just to get to the store and back. Does anyone have any app recommendations for Canada? I can Google that and get back to you. Canada grocery app. Joanne. Joanne, what's your last name, honey? That's a good question. Any other Canadians in the group? And then we're not impulse buying, okay? We're not buying the fancy dragon fruit that we're like, oh, I never tried this. And then we let it rot in the fridge because we don't know what to do with it, how to cook it, and what it is. Joanne Wood, thank you. Okay, and you're not buying the fancy thing that's on sale on the end cap and all the snacks and the treats and the sugary foods because you went to the store hungry, right? You literally buy what is on your meal plan, and then you cook what's on your meal plan. I cannot tell you how many students inside my meal prep course tell me they save money because they're not wasting food, because they're not buying a bunch of stuff they don't need, and they're cooking what they buy. Plus, you can do it from anywhere, and this is the freaking beauty of it. I have clients that order from the airport. I've ordered from the airport multiple times. You can do it when you're on vacation. You can do it as a passenger in a car, on a train, or on a bus. You can do it from the sauna blanket while you're detoxing. You can do it from a hot bath when you're getting your Epsom soak. You can do it from bed if you're tired and fatigued and you can't get out of bed, okay? I'm telling you guys, you have to try this. One of my students was actually really hesitant to do this part of the course, and she said, my favorite thing actually was, this was after 1 week of meal prepping. I'm telling you, like, you can get a transformation after just 1 week of doing this, actually showing up and putting in the work and doing it. She said, my favorite thing actually was ordering the grocery delivery. For some reason, I had a huge hang up over this, but I put everything in my Instacart order or on my layover at the airport, and I finalized it this morning, and it was on my doorstep before I finished my coffee. Such a huge game changer for me. And you can also, like, literally, you can do it and go to checkout and everything and set it for a specific date and time. It doesn't have to be that same day, but if you can't be there, I keep a cooler out on my porch with ice if I need to, but you do not have to be there to receive the groceries. You do not have to, like, wait until it's close to the time that you need it to delivered. You can deliver it. You can set your delivery date and time for specific date and time. Oh my God, words. Alice said that there's an Instacart in Canada. Words. There is an Instacart in Canada, although I've never used it. Laura said, I do that when we travel. Have the order ready to go, hit order when we land at the airport, and have it delivered to the Airbnb. Exactly. And that's what my client said too. I've done YouTube videos on my YouTube channel showing you guys what I get from Instacart or the grocery store while I travel, so that we always have flare-free food. And my client said the same thing on our Instagram live the other day. She said she's now even ordering Instacart to come deliver to the hotel, so they have snacks and everything in their fridge, because she travels for 7 to 10 days at a time. She's a sound audio engineer. Amazing, Laura. Okay, so essential time-saving task number 2 that you must do if you want to cook in 3 hours or less is keep your kitchen tight and concise, clean and tidy, and open and available. We're going to break them all down. Let's start with tight and concise. You want to make sure that you organize your kitchen the most effective way possible so that you're not having to run around like a chicken with its head cut off while you're meal prepping. What the heck am I talking about? What do I mean by that? Your garbage can should not be 10 feet away from your cutting board. And your cutting board should not be 10 feet away from your stove. You want to get things as tight and concise as possible so you can have seconds in between each task versus minutes in between each task. Because seconds lead to minutes and minutes lead to hours saved. Okay? Now, you want to keep your kitchen clean and tidy. You can't cook quickly and efficiently if you have a sink full of dishes and a garbage can full of trash. You want to start meal prepping when and only when your kitchen is super clean and tidy, so you're not slowed down by having to stop and do yesterday's chores. All right, open and available. You also can't stock your fridge with 20 anti-inflammatory healing meals to eat throughout the week if your fridge is full of rotting ingredients and days-old leftovers, right? Plus, you probably need all those containers in there to put your meal prep in anyway. So don't even start cooking until your kitchen is fully open and available. All right. Task number 3 is to mise en place. Mise en place means everything is in its place. So there's 3 steps to getting everything in its place. Number 1, organize all of your ingredients by recipe. So if you have pot roast and you're making a Caesar salad, you want to put the chuck roast and the potatoes and the carrots and the celery in one pile, right? You want to put the romaine lettuce and the chickpeas and the cucumbers and your dressing ingredients in another pile. Then you want to physically pull out every single piece of equipment that you need for each of those recipes. We're not turning around to get spoons and pots and pans and, oh, I need a lid and now I need parchment paper and now I need this. Do you know how much running around you will do? Get everything organized and in its place, and then I put them on trays, like little like baking dishes or whatever. And then you have this tray of your ingredients. You bring it over to your chopping station, you chop everything on there, and you measure everything, right? You're going to chop everything in the recipe. You're going to measure everything in the recipe before you ever start cooking. Because when it's cooking time, then it's cooking time. You're not chopping and measuring and getting off track and getting flustered and burning your onions because you need to chop a tomato and now you cut your finger and now the onions are burnt, your pan is burnt. Now you got to wash the pan, you got to dice more onions. I'm already like giving up on meal prepping just thinking about it. And I don't want that for you, right? So once your ingredients and your equipment are all laid out and beautifully organized, if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen me do this. I have meal prep live for you guys. If you need to see me do that, you can message me and I'll send you those links. You can see my mise en place and everything. It looks beautiful. It's organized. I keep it beautiful, okay? And I want you to do that too, because then when that's all done, then you can start cooking. Okay, if you measure with your heart, you don't have to measure those ingredients. But a lot of people, especially a lot of people that are watching this, they are beginner cooks and they have to measure. And so Vanessa said, I usually measure with the heart, which is great because that's actually what I teach you inside my meal prep course. I do provide measurements for some things for folks that are like a little bit nervous, but also for the desserts, especially, I definitely provide measurements for that. But I teach you inside my course how to cook by feeling, because I don't want you to have to stop and look and measure and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you don't have to measure, you can skip that part, but you definitely want to have your onions chopped and you want to have all your spices on the same tray. We're not going into the spice rack and getting distracted. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, I'm out of it, right? You want to have everything ready before you ever start cooking. Okay, comment below your big aha moment from everything that I just taught you to be entered to win a 50% off coupon into my 6-week self-paced meal prep course. Hi, Taya. I'm writing everybody's names down because I learned yesterday that you can't rely on this app. Patty, I think I have Patty. Keep it all beautiful. Yeah. Marianne. Hi, Marianne. Marianne, what nationality is your last name? Lisa, were you in yesterday's class? Your name sounds familiar. Okay. I need to be more prepared. Yes. Organize all your ingredients into piles by recipe. Yes. Organize what you need for cooking instead of dancing around the kitchen. Yes. Oh, it is going to be so much more peaceful and quick and easy. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to be literally like, why haven't I done this before? Yes, mise en place and worked yesterday. Oh, hi, Taya. Taya. Have everything chopped and ready before you begin cooking. Yes. Organize all items that a recipe calls for in order to save time. Yes, you guys got it. I love it. I like hearing you push the organization makes such a difference. Yes, exactly. Cassandra, you're an advanced cook too. She likes to cook a lot. Cassandra, I'm surprised you're here because I know you like to cook kind of meals kind of fresh to order versus meal prepping. And Tia, you're a chef, right? She's classically trained, so she knows all about the mise en place. Okay, so let me teach you my broiler sheet tray method. This is a method that I developed for myself after 2.5 years of being a private full-time chef for a country music artist. I was completely burnt out, excited to get home. My last name is Polish. Okay, cool. My maiden name is Polish too. That's why I was wondering. So I was completely burnt out, excited to get home to my family and have more of a like a work-life balance and actually cook for my family because I was working from 6:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night from Monday through Friday. So I did not really cook for my family at all. And but I didn't want to spend hours and hours cooking all the time. And so I started basically cooking everything on sheet trays in the broiler. And it became like so amazing for me and my health and keeping me like out of the kitchen all day long that I started to do it for my clients as well. And then once I learned that there was a gap in my Flare Free Academy of people that were paying for monthly meal plans, but then not really using them because they needed something simpler and they actually were too sick to cook every night. They needed to just be able to like cook once when they had energy, stock their fridge. And so I developed this method and I share it with you guys now. So here's how you do it. If you're not taking notes and you're multitasking, come back, get your little pen and paper. All right. This sounds really simple, but basically you spread your food out onto sheet trays and you cook it in the broiler until it's done. As we talked about earlier with Vanessa, I'm going to teach you how to cook by feeling and by using your senses because cooking in the broiler is essentially cooking in a 500-degree oven. Okay, and so maybe you're going to put your meat on one sheet tray and you're going to put your vegetables on another so that you can gauge like, okay, the vegetables are going to cook faster than the meat and I can pull them out and so that nothing's burning and everything is beautiful, and then maybe you just mix it or assemble it after that. So let me tell you what I mean. There are certain things that cook up really well in the broiler on sheet trays, like quick cooking lean cuts of meat, right? So like thin steaks, chicken breasts, especially if they're like chicken tenders or cut up into cubes, or cutlets, right? Like a thin little like lamb, like lollipops maybe. Fish, obviously. Okay, and then ground meat and sausage cooks up beautifully in the broiler. 10 minutes. Bacon as well. I didn't put bacon on here. Sausage links, chopped vegetables, any type of ready-made sauce, and then canned beans. Those are some things that we use a lot inside the Flare Free Meal Prep solution on sheet trays in the broiler. So location is key. The slower you want to cook something, the further away from the heat source you should put your food. So you need to physically look in your oven and see where is your broiler coming from, because some ovens it comes from the bottom. And my Canadian friends or Australians, whoever's watching from outside of the US, let me know if you guys have broilers on your ovens. Because otherwise you just cook at like, I would say 475 in an oven. The faster you want to cook something, the closer to the heat source that you would put it. So a lot of the things that we cook in the meal prep solution is not right under the broiler with directly under that high flame. And I teach you where and how and for how long. Because timing is essential. So what I want you guys to do, and write this down if you're not taking notes, I want you to take the standard cook time for whatever recipe you put in your meal plan and cut it in half. And that's the time you're going to get into that broiler and start looking at your food. Okay. And you just cook it until it's done. Marianne says she has a broiler. Cool. You love cooking in your air fryer. Awesome. Yes, I have a broiler setting in my oven. Good. So hopefully the recipes that you're finding online for your meal plans will have an estimated time on it. Literally just slash that in half and make a note for yourself and set a timer and check it in half the time. And then you just cook it until it's done. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm glad my Canadian friends have broilers too. Because you want to use your senses at this point. The best way to tell whether or not your food is done is to see, taste, smell, and touch it, right? So what I normally do is I set a timer for myself based on that halfway point, right? So a standard chicken breast you can cook at 425 in 25 minutes. I'm going to cook mine at 500 degrees for about 18 minutes. So I'm going to usually check it around 15 just to make sure. I don't want to overcook it, right? And that's the most important thing. So I'm going to check it at 15 minutes, but then I'm going to use my senses. I'm going to be smelling. I'm going to be listening. Okay. Is something burning? Oh, do I hear lots of sizzling going on? Let me check on my chicken, right? I'm going to have the oven light on so I can see what's going on in my broiler. And then at the last, the last couple things I can do is actually taste it and touch it, right? Because here's the thing, guys, you're not going to find broiler sheet tray recipes anywhere out on the internet other than inside my course, right? So you're going to have to do some experimenting and learn broiler sheet tray times. Now, the best way to go about this, to learn it for yourself, and you can keep a little list for yourself. Like I just said, it normally takes me about 15 to 18 minutes to cook a chicken breast in the broiler. If you have a digital instant read thermometer, this will help you tremendously to get your timing down because you can probe the thickest part of your meat and see if it's actually, done, right? So chicken breast, fish, the lamb, the steaks, you're going to need an instant read thermometer for. The ground meat, you can literally just taste it. You can see it, right? For my ADHD friends, having a digital Bluetooth thermometer for meat has been a lifesaver for me, not forgetting to check. That's amazing. That's awesome. I use Alexa a lot for my, I'll always tell Alexa to set a timer. Should the oven door be closed when broiling? Yes. I can see meat temp in real time as it cooks and an alarm goes off. That's amazing. That's awesome. So Danielle says it's a Bluetooth thermometer. I would love to look at that. That sounds amazing. Okay. So I want to do a little visualization with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm going to talk you through how to make one of my favorite quick cooking meals. It's sheet tray lettuce wrap tacos, okay? So this is how I would do it. I would spread out my grass-fed ground beef onto a sheet tray. I would put that in the broiler and cook it until it's halfway done. Then I would add like a can of black beans, rinsed off, I like to cut my meat with beans just to add a little bit of fiber and some minerals and vitamins and stuff because protein has 0 fiber. And so I like to add some black beans. Plus that kind of stretches my meat and cuts the cost. So while the beef and the beans are cooking in the broiler, I'm making my guacamole, I'm making my pico de gallo, I'm getting my toppings ready, and in 20 minutes I have a meal. So by the time the meat is done cooking, which usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes, I've got everything else ready, and now we have tacos. So I want you guys to drop in the comments right now another dish that you want me to walk you through how to make a broiler sheet tray dish. I'll just select one from what you put down. It doesn't have to be a broiler sheet tray dish, just a meal you want me to make. Chicken fajitas would work. You don't have to think about what would work. You just go ahead and put like a dish and I'll make it something. Anything vegetarian. Okay, Isla's here. She's a vegetarian. I need something more than that. I need something more than anything vegetarian. Okay, we can do chicken fajitas. I would not make a pasta dish in the broiler. However, I do have a 1-pot pasta dish inside the course where I teach you how to, instead of having to boil water, which takes about 20 minutes, and then cook pasta, which takes about 10 to 15, you save 30 minutes by dumping the pasta in the pasta sauce. And actually, that's one of the free recipes you're going to get tonight if you stay to the end, actually. So I teach you how to do that inside the class. So the class is comprised of broiler sheet tray meals, 1-pot dishes, crock pot meals, and then cold dishes, basically. Those are the 4 things that I can cook the quickest. So fajitas would work great. It could be vegetarian fajitas. It could be seafood, it could be shrimp, it could be steak, it could be chicken. You're gonna lay out all of your veggies on a sheet tray. I would do the meat and veggies separately because even if you did thinly sliced chicken or steak, it might take a little bit longer than the vegetables, depending on how good your knife fork is. So I would lay out all of my veggies on a sheet tray. I would lay out my meat on another sheet tray. I would broil both of them until they're done. While that's happening, I'm cooking my tortillas. I'm making whatever toppings I want. If I'm making pico de gallo, if I'm making guacamole, whatever, if I'm cutting up cabbage and radishes, limes, whatever. So veggies on one sheet tray, broil until it's done, meat on the other one. And then I would bring those two together and I would mix them in a bowl, taste and season and make sure it tastes good. And then while that's cooking, I'm making my tortillas and I'm making my toppings. So that dish right there probably take about maybe 30 minutes. Anything with vegetables. You're not getting enough specific with me, Isla. Okay. So as you can see, cooking in the broiler on sheet trays not only makes it super easy and hands off, right? Our veggies and our meat are cooking in the broiler while I'm doing other things. My ground beef and my beans are cooking in the broiler while I'm doing other things. I'm not standing there stir frying all the fajitas. I'm not standing there breaking up and mixing all of the ground beef. So it not only makes it super easy and hands off, so you can do other things while that's cooking in the broiler, but it also makes it so that you can cook in half the time. Okay. I do have a specific type of tortilla that I recommend. You get all of that in my course. You get it in my flare-free pantry makeover course if you want to take that. And also it will be included in the recipe packet because I have a breakfast quesadilla recipe in the free recipe packet. So stay till the end. All right, so when you pair this method of cooking with easy to execute quick cooking recipes, and you have an organized kitchen and some good quality in-depth mise en place, you can easily prepare breakfast, lunch, 2 dinners, and dessert for a family of 4. So that's 20 meals total in 3 hours or less. Now, a lot of times my crock pot meals make more than 4 servings. I usually make 6 to 8. So it ends up being more than 20 meals, but I just say 20 to keep it simple. So comment below your aha moment. Hi, Trina. Comment below your aha moment about the broiler sheet tray method I just taught you. This is the last chance you have to enter to win a free 50% off coupon into the Flare Free Meal Prep solution. Not free, of course it's free. It's a 50% off coupon. Barb, did I get you? Yes, I got you. I think I got everybody that's here. Broiling so I'm not standing, cooking, and being able to prep other things while the meat cooks. Yes, Joanne. I love the idea of using the broiler so I can do other food prep at the same time. Exactly. Now you can see why it's so important to have your recipes organized. Because look, your tacos and your beans are in the oven and you already finished. Maybe you didn't even make a fresh pico de gallo. Maybe you bought an organic one from the store and all you had to do was slice up some radishes and some avocado. So now you know you can flip to the next recipe and start on your fajitas because there's nothing else that you can do right now. So that's why it's so important to have those recipes organized in the order that you're going to do them, right? First time you cook, keep an eye on the food so you can gauge what tier you need to place your food. Absolutely. Yes, that's a good one. I love that you teach how the kitchen needs to be clean before anything. Yes. Converting a recipe to a broiler tray by cutting in half the time. Yes, Linda. Cooking large quantities so quickly. Exactly, Keith. I love the idea of a broiler. Okay, we talked about that one already. The taco prep. Yes, Marianne. Just using the broiler so much faster. Absolutely. As long as you got your wits about you, right? And you're smelling and you're hearing and you're seeing, right? You're using your senses. We're not going to turn our back and burn everything and then yell at me and tell me that I didn't teach you properly. All right, congratulations. You now officially have all the tools that you need to start your meal prep journey today. So keep watching because I am soon going to be sharing that link where you can just click it and download those free 5 recipes. So what's next? From here, you can start your meal prep journey on your own, but you're going to spend hours and hours of precious time and energy searching for the right recipes on the internet, experimenting with cooking those recipes on sheet trays in the broiler, writing meal plans, and struggling to hold yourself accountable with the same old system that you have in place right now, or lack of system for a lot of us. Or you can skip all that and go straight to cooking with the guidance, support, and accountability that you need to do it successfully with ease. So with my help, you don't have to do any recipe generation, any meal planning, no experimenting with how to cook on sheet trays in the broiler, no experimenting with how to cook at all, actually, because I teach you everything you need to know step by step. So there's no guessing which ingredients are flare free. You just talked about which tortillas can I use. There's literally no guessing. I teach you everything. I give you brand suggestions, all of it. And there's no wasting time and energy with months and months of trying to figure out which recipes can I make, flare free? How do I make this into a broiler sheet tray recipe, and trying to come up with your own system? Because here's the thing, guys. More than 50% of all deaths worldwide are directly linked to chronic inflammation related conditions like autoimmunity. 63% of America's calories actually come from highly refined, processed, and packaged foods, right? Like snacks and potato chips and soda and desserts and stuff. Now, only 12% of America's food comes from plant-based foods like vegetables, beans, fruits, nuts and seeds. And half of those, so 6% of those 12% of vegetables that we eat in America, are actually French fries. Okay, but this is not an American problem. Research indicates that the global adoption of the Western diet and the popularity of fast food around the globe has contributed to a 9% increase of autoimmunity around the world. So 7% of Americans have autoimmunity. 7% of people in England, okay, the British people have it. I don't know why that's so hard to say. Like, what am I trying to say? Yeah. 7% of Brits have autoimmunity, 5% of Australians, and 3% of Canadians. So all my Canadian friends, y'all are doing something good. The problem is that the pace of life is continuing to excel, and so it's becoming increasingly more difficult to actually find the time and energy to cook at home consistently enough to reverse the chronic inflammation and these chronic illnesses, right? What's the solution though? My 6-week self-paced meal prep course. This is where you will learn to use anti-inflammatory food as medicine consistently with ease, long enough to lessen inflammation, decrease the symptoms of autoimmunity, and improve the quality of your life, all by just following step-by-step video cooking instruction. So tell me, how would it feel to wake up every day knowing what you're going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Comment below. I would love to know, how would that feel if you woke up tomorrow and you were like, I don't even have to go, what should I make for breakfast? What should I make for lunch? What should I take to work for lunch? What should I make tonight? Amazing. Freedom. It would feel like a miracle. I know. I love it. Fantastic. Listen, I'm a chef. I cook for a living. I love cooking. I love my job, but I get so burnt out. I write recipes every week. I write menus every week, and I got to come home and figure out, like, what am I going to cook for myself? It is so exhausting. Joanne said it would feel like a weight lifted off of me. Love it. No stress. Exactly. How would it feel to be able to have a meal ready within minutes anytime hunger strikes? So imagine you get stuck in traffic and it takes you longer to get home than you would want to. There's no coming home and being like, oh my God, I don't have anything thawed. I got to thaw the chicken. I got to thaw the meat. And I don't have anything made. And then you end up just ordering takeout, right? You literally just pop your food in the microwave or pop it in the oven or pop it in a pan and reheat it, and boom, you have a meal in minutes. That has been my life. I would love it, said Marianne. I would feel more in control of my food choices. Exactly. How would it feel to sit down for a delicious homemade meal every day at work without leaving the office or spending a dime on takeout? Imagine that. You could sit and listen to a podcast, or you could catch up with a friend. You could spend that extra time that you're, walking to get lunch and standing in line to get lunch and coming back to eat it or whatever. How would it feel to have extra time and energy to spend on your healing journey or doing the things you love with the people you love? Or to have an anti-inflammatory healing dessert in the fridge anytime your sweet tooth pops up? We talked about how freeing that would be to not be like, oh, I shouldn't be eating this while I'm eating this. No, we don't have that in the Flare Free Academy. So are you ready to experience less inflammation, fewer migraines, less joint pain, fewer rashes, more energy, better digestion, more hair growth, clearer skin, and better sleep. These are all of some of the transformations that I've had inside the Flare Free Academy from my clients. Obviously, it will vary depending on what your symptoms are and how long you've been eating Flare Free and yada, 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 but still. So I want to share a few student results with you. This is what happened after 6 weeks of meal prep. So I showed you in the beginning a couple transformations that we had after 1 week. And now I want to talk to you about how the students felt after 6 weeks. So someone said, I used to come home from traveling for work with little to no energy to cook, which meant I would just order in or eat out, and I would feel terrible for 2 to 3 days until I settled back into my routine. I meal prepped first thing today, and I'm feeling relaxed and excited to eat healthier right away. I can't explain to you this client or this student in particular struggles with a high A1C, and a lot of it largely is due to stress. Not only stress from having to travel for work, but also because of the type of work she does is very stressful. And to come home and feel relaxed, that bleeds over into so many other areas of your life, and that's exactly what we need. This student said, I have saved so much time in the kitchen as well as time wondering what we're going to eat for dinner each night. My husband and kids are excited to see what I pull out of the fridge because it feels like an adventure to them. Things they've never seen on our table before. Overall, it has broken down walls that I had, so many walls that I had up in the kitchen. Now, this client has 5 kids. And she would tell me how excited they would get and come in the kitchen from the smells and the sights and be actually, she would have her kids actually join in the classes as well and start cooking with her as well, which is amazing. Another student said, I am much more consistent with eating healthy because of the meal prepping. My rheumatoid arthritis is managed and I feel like it has improved since meal prepping. That's just 6 weeks. It took me 12 weeks to feel better. This client is already feeling better in 6 weeks. And then lastly, someone said, I'm more confident in the kitchen than I have ever been. I'm excited to show up for myself and my family by having healthy meals ready to go. I feel like I have more control over all aspects of my life because I'm managing my time better overall. Imagine that. You spend less time cooking and more time healing and more time eating. It's just amazing. So you can go from being stressed and exhausted at mealtimes to relaxed, calm, and excited around mealtimes. You can go from wasting hundreds of dollars on takeout every week to saving hundreds of dollars by eating at home every week. You can go from being paralyzed into inaction by the sheer overwhelm of constantly having to find recipes and deciding what to make to having a whole new attitude around meal preparation and cooking. You can go from struggling with chronic inflammation related health conditions that never seem to go away no matter what you try or what medications you're on to healing from within simply by eating flare free 3 times a day, every day until you get better, right? You can go from being stuck on that vicious roller coaster ride of food driven autoimmune flare ups that's caused by eating out too often, right? Just because you don't have the time, energy, and organization to cook at home every day. To slowly but surely healing from within, one nourishing anti-inflammatory home cooked meal at a time. In my 6-week self-paced meal prep course, you'll learn step-by-step exactly how to meal prep breakfast, lunch, 2 dinners, and dessert in 3 hours or less. Now, this is a self-paced course, so if you only want to do 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, and 1 dinner, you choose how much you want to do. I actually include timestamps before each video, and so you know, okay, I'm gonna skip to minute 10 where we start the breakfast. Okay, I'm not going to do the crock pot meal or whatever. And so there's all these specific timestamps for you so you can choose exactly which meals you do. You're going to learn step by step all of the pre-work and prep work needed to meal prep as quickly and efficiently as possible. It's all laid out there for you step by step in the course. And there's all sorts of checklists and everything. You're going to learn the healing properties of food. Every time I cook, I tell you why we're using flax seeds, why we're using chia seeds, why we're using avocado oil. And then I actually physically stop the video and I put up a graphic with that health property again. So if you wanted to take notes or write it down, or if you're just a visual learner and you need to see it to remember it, it's there for you as well. You're going to learn the best tasting anti-inflammatory ingredients on the market. So I'm going to tell you, this is the brand that I was able to get today. It's not my favorite. I usually go for that, or I'll tell you, this is the best tasting blah, blah, blah. And I physically show you all of my favorite brands and everything. You're also going to learn proper knife skills, guys. So inside the course, I offer to you free of charge. This is normally a $97 class that I have, my knife skills class. So you can actually chop during your mise en place in half the time that you normally would. So you're going to learn all the proper chopping techniques as well. You're going to learn superb kitchen organizational skills. You're going to learn how to package and reheat your meals like a pro. And lastly, you're going to learn how to become your own accountability partner so you can actually put in the work that's required to get the results that you desire. So what's included? There's 6 weeks of guided video meal prep instruction, right? You don't have to have any cooking skills. There's no fancy equipment required. There's no air fryers. There's no pressure cookers. It's sheet trays. It's a crock pot. Those are the two things. Sometimes you need a blender or a food processor. 6 weeks of detailed recipe packets. So this includes the pictures, the ingredient list, the equipment list, and then the prep list. For the first 6 weeks when we're cooking together by video, it doesn't have detailed written instructions because I want you to just follow me with the video and just listen and cook with me. If you have to stop and look at the recipe and read, it slows you down. It gets overwhelming. We don't do that for the first 6 weeks. I teach you how to cook by taste, by feeling, by look, and without a recipe. So it's very easy. Now, for the second 6 weeks, it's just a bonus. I added into the class 6 weeks of bonus recipes. These are detailed printed recipes with no video instruction. That's for the folks that come in like me. It took me 12 weeks to feel better, so that if you need to keep eating past 6 weeks, you have a whole set of 6 more weeks of meal plans with recipes so you can keep going until you feel better. Now, the best part about the class, and this is something that most of my students complain about, is they can't bring themselves to do it on their own. They need an accountability help. And so I offer you guys 6 weeks of accountability emails plus a reward system with incentives, with prizes that you can win to incentivize you to actually show up. Because it's one thing to join the course, it's another thing to get your butt in the course and actually cook. So if you post 6 pictures in 6 weeks, it could be any 6 weeks in a row. Doesn't have to be when the course starts or when you start the course. You get to pick a prize of your choosing, okay? So you get to get my Flare-Free Pantry Makeover mini course. You could get one of 2 different meal plans. It's my 5 ingredient recipes or my 30-minute meals recipes. Or you can get a 30-minute one-on-one consultation with me if you're like, I'm vegetarian, I'm vegan, I need this, I need that, or I need help, like what should I do next? We can have a consultation. And then the new bonus that I added, or not bonus, but prize, the new accountability prize that I added is 1 additional cooking session. So there's 6 cooking videos in the class. If you wanted to, you can choose a prize for 1 extra video. And so I will be recording weeks 7 through 12, and those will be given as a prize. Plus, you get a bonus set of 9 crock pot recipes. So that's for those folks that have big families or they want to do a big batch cook and they want to put something in the crock pot before they start the rest of their meals. You have those crock pot recipes to use at your leisure. I always do it, and it's included in the 6 weeks of videos. I show you how to do it, but you can skip past if you don't want to do the crock pot meals. You also get detailed reheating instructions for each and every meal. You also get variations for each meal. So if you get all the way through week 12 and you want to go back to week 1, you can follow the variation suggestions so that you're not cooking the same exact meal. So what do I mean by that? Like in week 1, there's like a lemon rosemary salmon with a Greek salad. So the variation for like say week 13, right? So you can have a total of 24 weeks. Week 13 is like lemon rosemary chicken with Greek salad. So each week will have a slight variation so that you can do the recipes again, but without getting bored. This is especially great for folks with food aversions and allergies. So I've had people in the class that were vegetarian. I've had people in the class that have egg allergies. I've had people that don't eat red meat. I've had people that don't eat seafood. So these are designed for you. You can look in those variations, goes, okay, I don't eat seafood, so what should I make instead? Oh, chicken. Okay, great. I'm going to try that. You also get a master list of substitutions. So Isla, you're a vegetarian. You mentioned that a couple times. This would be for you. This will be your best friend. And I have something else that's a bonus that will be perfect for you. I'm going to talk about in a second. But it's a master list of substitutions. So you can make your meals alpha-gal safe, because I got a lot of people in the course that have alpha-gal. If you have diabetes or pre-diabetes or insulin resistance, I give you suggestions for how to make those meals blood sugar stable. How to make them grain-free, nightshade-free, because some people are sensitive to nightshades and grains, but I still use them in my recipes. And then I have a lot of people with nut allergies, okay? So I teach you how to make the meals. I teach you what to substitute in this master list, okay? There's also grocery estimates for each week. So you can go through and go, okay, let me see how much week 1 cost. Okay, that was a $150 estimate. Let me see what week 2. Oh, week 2 is only $125. Let me start with week 2 because I'm on a budget this week. There's also estimated cook times. So if you're short on time, you can go, okay, let me look. I wrote it down earlier. I think week 4 was an hour, and week 4 was like an hour and 25 minutes. An hour and 25 minutes to make 20 meals. So you could start with week 4 if you're really busy. You know what I'm saying? And then there is a how to shop flare-free PDF. So if you're brand new to eating flare-free and you don't know, it literally lays it all out there for you. There's also detailed checklists for folks that love a checklist. So there's a checklist for how to meal prep in one single solitary day. Say, for example, you came home from vacation and you didn't have time to do any pre-work or prep work, you can follow that checklist. If you're like me and you like to break everything up so you're not doing everything on the same day, you can have the normal checklist, which will tell you to order your groceries in advance, tell you to do your pre-work and your prep work, and then cook. There's also a mindset training on how to become your own accountability partner. We talked about that. And I just added yesterday 3 bonus trainings designed to help you meet your meal prep goals. And I'll tell you what those are in a second, because they're really, really nice. And then lastly, I know this course is loaded down with so many things. I feel like I've been talking about it forever, but it's in there for a reason. I know it sounds like a lot, so if anybody's feeling overwhelmed, just know that you get to choose what you go through and what you need, but it's all in there because some people need more than others, right? And you also have access to a private group on my website where you can have daily access to me. My office hours are from 9 to 5. So if you need any additional support, you're like, what can I do to make this vegetarian? Or which dairy-free cream cheese should I use if I have a nut allergy? I'm there to answer all your questions. Now, I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I have disappearing bonuses available until March 14th. So for the next 2 weeks, you're going to get a picky eater's meal plan to help you get the whole family on board. Okay, it's just 5 different kind of like kid-friendly recipes that you can make flare-free to help them see that flare-free is pretty delicious. And 2 live group coaching calls designed to help you exceed your meal prep goals. I'm going to tell you exactly what those are in a minute. This is really important, so listen up for that in a second. And the funnest part is 6 weeks of bonus motivational text messages to help you hold yourself accountable. So you've got this, you get 6 weeks of emails inside the course. They'll go, hey, how was meal prepping this week? So that way, if you didn't meal prep, you're like, crap, I got to meal prep. Okay, Chef Laura's checking in on me. I got to do it, right? You get inside the course each week. It says, hey, go post your pictures in our group if you want to qualify to win that accountability prize. That's 2 accountability prompts I'm giving you. If you sign up within the next 14 days, you also get this other accountability prompt, which is me text messaging you every Thursday for 6 weeks. Happy, cheerful, motivational, encouraging text messages in a group setting. We can chat, we can talk, we can get to know one another, we can share our pictures, our thoughts, our concerns. So you get Thursday text messages, hey, who's ready to pump up to meal plan this week? This is what I'm gonna do, blah, blah, blah. And then you get that inside the weekly course, it says, hey, post your picture. And then you get an email, did you meal prep? That's 3 accountability. You're not gonna get this accountability anywhere else, I promise you. Okay. So the 2 live group coaching call topics that I designed specifically for you guys, as I've been listening over the last couple of weeks of what you guys need. Number 1, tailored to you, how to edit each week's recipes to fit your complex dietary needs. So I have some folks in the course that can't have avocado, they can't have eggs, they can't have nuts, like literally have multiple food sensitivities. And then on top of that, they're a vegetarian. Okay, so if that sounds like you, or maybe you just got diagnosed with diabetes on top of your Hashimoto's, and you're like, I don't know how to eat low carb. This is designed for you, but this is a live group coaching call. So if you don't come, you're not going to get much out of it. There will be a replay for you, but you're not going to be able to get there and come and show and ask me your questions. So if you're like, so I looked through the menu because I have the menu posted on my website, and I saw that week 4 had potatoes on the menu 3 times. What would I do for that if I'm trying to eat low carb? I will literally tell you what to do. Otherwise, you have to go to the master substitutions list and use your brain and figure it out and follow the, you're going to have to do a little bit more digging versus coming to the live coaching call and just asking me and I'll tell you. And then the second live group coaching call will be how to meal prep if you're not a leftovers person and you would rather cook most of your meals fresh. So Cassandra, this is like for you and the other people that I've heard over the last couple of weeks that are like, I don't care for leftovers, right? I'm going to teach you what you can do to get all of the prep work done in one day so that you can cook a la minute and not be overwhelmed. Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second, just checking the chat here. Trying to stay organized. It's not easy doing this by yourself. I need an assistant. Okay. Now, in addition to these bonuses that are available for the next estimated costs would be helpful. It's completely on my website. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm getting there. I'm sorry. I just want to tell you guys all the things you're going to get first. Okay, so in addition to the bonuses, right, which are available for 2 weeks, if you sign up by this Saturday, okay, you're going to get a fast action discount for 20% off. That goes towards any payment plan that you choose. And it's not just the first payment, it's all of the payments, okay? So the code is spring20 and that expires this Saturday. So I'm going to pop that in the chat right now. So you can go to my website and check it out. And then you have the code, okay? Now, if you were to purchase everything inside the class, it would be almost $2,500. That's the value of it, okay? With the bonuses and all of that, if you were to buy all that stuff separately on my website, you would spend $2,500. But you can get all of this today for just $109.60 with that 20% off coupon. Don't forget, you have to enter the code SPRING20 at checkout, okay? It's not automatically applied. So this is for a 12-month plan. I've got 3 different plans for you, payment plans. But just to recap what you get 6 weeks of step-by-step meal prep instruction. You get 12 weeks of quick and easy to execute meal prep recipes. So no meal planning, it's done for you. You get 12 weeks of meal variations, so you never get bored. You can come back to week 1 and do another 12 weeks. That's 24 weeks of meal plans. That's insane. You get a bonus set of crockpot recipes. You get 6 weeks of accountability emails. You get a reward system with free prizes to incentivize you to actually show up and put in the work. You get those checklists if you're a checklist person. You get grocery estimates and time estimates. You can budget your time. You can manage your time and budget your groceries properly. You get reheating instructions for each and every meal. You get that how to shop flare free PDF. You get to learn proper knife skills. You get to learn how to become your own accountability partner because I'm not going to be there with you forever. Past that 12 weeks, that 6 weeks. Now, granted, this is a lifetime access course. So once you pay into it, you have lifetime access to it. That means as long as it's on my website, right? So the lifetime of the course, if I die tomorrow, sorry, knock on wood, that doesn't happen, but then you won't have access to the course. You know what I'm saying? But as long as the course is there, you have lifetime access to it. So if there's any updates, if I put more recipes, if I put more resources, you're always going to have access to that. But I'm not going to be there to hold your hand. The accountability emails, they stop after 6 weeks, right? So you have to learn how to become your own accountability partner. I'm also going to teach you 3 common mistakes that I see autoimmune warriors making inside my course, so that you don't do that too. Because we can learn a lot from our mistakes. I'm going to teach you what to do when you run out of meal prep, because we're not going to McDonald's. I'm going to teach you 3 beyond food health habits for autoimmune warriors that are looking to heal from within Because say, for example, you get all the way to week 12 and you've done 3 times a day, every day you've eaten flare-free, but you still don't feel as good as you wanna feel, there's something else going on, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what it could be in that training, and that training is very, very, very crucial. And then you're gonna get that daily access to me inside our private group. Okay, so the prices, I'm getting there. I'm sorry, I'm getting there. I just wanna make sure you guys understand what you're getting because there's a lot involved. In addition to that, you're getting the Picky Eaters meal plan for free. You're getting those 2 live group coaching calls. You're getting the 6 weeks of motivational text messages, okay? And when you sign up by this Saturday, you can get it all for 20% off. So if you want to start today for the lowest price possible, you can get all of this for $109.60. That's for the 12 installment payment. But you just pay once a month for 12 months and you have lifetime access to the course. It doesn't matter. You get access to everything inside the course today, right now, for just $109. Okay, if you want to pay in 6 installments, it's $205.60. If you want to pay in full, that's the most, you get the most savings with that. It's the cheapest price, is $1,037.60. Here's the thing, you deserve to live a long, healthy, vibrant, pain-free life. And eating flare-free can help you get there. It's helped me, it's helped all of my clients. But you have to use food as medicine consistently, long enough to actually see it work. And meal prepping is the easiest way to do that. And joining my 6-week self-paced meal prep course is the easiest way to meal prep. An investment in your flare-free journey today is an investment in your health, it's an investment in your wellness, and it's an investment in your future. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Edible RX. If you liked this episode, please go to the link in the show notes to check out the flare-free meal prep solution. It is my 6-week self-paced meal prep course, and it is open and available for you right now at a discounted price. The discount does close down at midnight on Saturday, March 2nd, so that's coming right around the corner. But these juicy bonuses that I have detailed for you are available until March 14th, okay? And then those disappearing bonuses will go away, and it's just back to the plain Jane meal prep solution course, which, by the way, it's not so very plain Jane at all, isn't it? I just talked about all the amazing things that you get when you sign up for the course, but you'll get all of that and then some, plus a 20% off discount. And that applies towards any month you want to join, not just the first month, right? So if you want to do the 12-month program or payment plan, that discount will be applied for all 12 months. So it's a great savings, and it is the right time for you. There's no better time to start your flare-free meal prep journey than right now. Spring is here. It's a time of new. It's a time to try something different, to get back into our health, to get ready for summer and all of the things. So let's do it. Click the link in the show notes below and let's start meal prepping. See you inside the course, guys.